Hello, everyone, and welcome to Police Off the Cuff, Real Crime Stories. I'm your host, retired NYPD Sergeant Bill Cannon, a 27-year veteran of the NYPD. Folks, a lot of questions now are coming about the attempted assassination of former President Trump. We're learning now that the shooter was spotted a full 90 minutes before the shots were fired. And my dissertation here, my big question is, can we trust the FBI to investigate the Secret Service? Many people, including myself, have very serious questions with this because some of these new findings are not being released or found out in a timely fashion by the FBI, but by senators. This information about the 90 minutes was found out by Senator Chuck Grassley in his inquiries to the Beaver County Emergency Service Unit, who said that they found out that he was spotted through text messages in regards to law enforcement text messaging between themselves. So law enforcement officials investigating the assassination of former President Donald Trump told lawmakers Wednesday that 20 minutes passed between the time the U.S. Secret Service snipers first spotted the gunman on a rooftop and time shots were fired at the former president. According to several law enforcement officials and lawmakers briefed on the matter, officials said the snipers spotted the suspect, 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, on the roof of a building outside the security zone at the rally Saturday in Butler, Pennsylvania at 5:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The shooting happened at 6:12 p.m. Eastern Time, 20 minutes later. In the days since the shooting, the Secret Service has come under scrutiny for its response to the assassination attempt, and the agency's director, Kimberly Cheadle, has been subpoenaed. As we all know, she testified it was a disaster. She basically had to resign. So this whole timeline has been amended now, amended to the point that he was spotted a full 90 minutes before the shooting actually occurred. And how are we just finding this out now? This happened on the 13th of July. It's now the 29th of July, right? So 16 days, over 2 weeks later, we're just finding this out. Does that give you confidence in the FBI? I mean, everyone watching this assassination attempt has zero confidence in the Secret Service. Can you imagine people from Europe, other countries watching this unfold? And then as it unfolds, watching more and more information come pouring in. And I'm glad at least the FBI is not doing what they usually do and say, oh, this is under investigation. Hello, hooray, yes. And why are senators finding out things that the FBI should find out? Or does the FBI already have that information and they're not releasing it? This is not a situation where the leader of the FBI should be withholding information back, because this is there he is, his first day of testimony with all of the FBI agents behind him. This is not something to hold back, because conspiracy theorists are running rampant and you're giving them food for thought here. This was from Fox News, and we get some new pictures here.
Back, everyone, here to live now from Fox. We are learning new information into the investigation into Trump's attempted assassination. Security at former President Trump's Butler, Pennsylvania rally first noticed the man who later shot at Trump more than 90 minutes before shots were fired, according to texts reported by the New York Times, adding to criticism of the Secret Service's handling of the event. A local counter sniper first noticed gunman Thomas Matthew Crooks at 4:26 p.m. Eastern Time, just more than an hour and a half before he climbed onto a nearby roof and shot at Trump, nicking his air, killing a supporter in the crowd and injuring two others. The officer, who was clocking out of his shift, notified colleagues about a suspicious man sitting at a picnic table near their lookout point via text. Additional texts at about 5:40 p.m. show officers discussing that they should inform Secret Service after Crooks was spotted again, this time using a rangefinder. Call it into command and have a uniform check it out, the text reads. The serious the series of security failures that allowed Crooks to get into position to shoot Trump has shocked Congress, sparking a House investigation as well as an independent probe.
Now, does this information, does it make us think of incompetence, or does it make us feel that perhaps this was done on purpose? These are some of the issues that we have to face, because people cannot believe that our Secret Service, our local law enforcement, and now our FBI is this incompetent. The gang that couldn't shoot straight. That's what it sounds like, right? The biggest problem here that I could see from looking at it and just looking at it very quickly is a problem of communication. And the one problem of the communication is, why does local police, if they're involved in this detail, not have the same radios as Secret Service, so in real time they can notify the Secret Service of what they've spotted, of what they saw, so that the Secret Service can react to it in real time, not playing telephone. You know, we all played telephone as kids, and we know how the message gets garbled and the message gets corrected, and it changes according to how many people get it. So a direct radio communication right to the source, and I can't believe that the capability wasn't there that day to do that. Just absolutely outrageous. Going back to the video.
Secret Service Director Kimberly Sheetal resigned from her post last week after being grilled by the House Oversight and Accountability Committee about the attempted assassination. Police on scene were unable to find Crooks again after being made aware of his presence near the building he later climbed. Just after Trump took the stage at 6:03 p.m., members of the crowd pointed out a suspicious man on a nearby roof. FBI Director Christopher Wray testified last week that a local Butler police officer was then boosted onto the roof to confront Crooks, but was met with a gun being pointed at him. With no free hands to grab his own gun and fire back, he dropped to avoid being shot. Just seconds later, Wray said Crooks fired 8 rounds towards Trump. He was quickly shot and killed by a Secret Service counter sniper team. A motive for the shooting is unknown, though investigators found that Crooks had searched for multiple possible targets before deciding on Trump, including President Biden. It is believed he suffered from a depressive disorder. The new details move back the timeline from when Crooks was first spotted, which was previously believed to be about an hour before the shooting. So every day, it seems like there is new information into this attempted assassination. And now we are learning 90 minutes before, they had a sniper that had eyes on this suspicious person. It went from suspicious to being a threat, and still Crooks was able to get 8 shots off and nearly killing former President Donald Trump.
Unbelievable, just unacceptable, absolutely unacceptable. And where was the communication between the local police and the Secret Service? Why wasn't the communication in real time? Why? Other questions we have: why was this individual, Thomas Crooks, able to fly a drone? And then we're learning not over the site, but adjacent to the site, 2 hours before the shooting. How was that not reported in real time? Again, everyone has questions. Did Thomas Crooks act alone? He seemed to know a hell of a lot about assassinating someone. He knew a lot about counter surveillance. He knew a lot about reconning his position. He knew a lot about making IEDs, improvised explosive devices. So all of these questions we have, and it leads everyone to believe that, did he have help? And I'm not saying he had help that day, that there was another shooter on the scene, but did he have help in the planning and the operations of the money it took to do this, of the recon, of being educated on how law enforcement works, and being able to thwart that? I'm going to play a little bit of Christopher Wray testifying before Congress.
Either it or some shrapnel is what grazed his ears. So I don't know that I have the actual
very
distance.
close, though.
What's that?
Very, very close, you would agree.
Yes.
Is this the biggest security failure that you've seen in your career?
So, one of the things that in Ray's testimony on this, Trump's doctor testified that it was not shrapnel that hit his ear. It was a bullet. So when Christopher Wray says that, it also makes people think that, well, perhaps this is a conspiracy. People are saying, oh, is the FBI involved? He's trying to downplay this. He's trying to downplay that this happened at all. How about the picture from the New York Times, the photographer that took the picture of the bullet in flight? Unbelievable work. Amazing. I want to play a little bit of the text messages between the officers from the Pennsylvania, I think it was Beaver County Police, that they sent to each other prior to this shooting. And you'll see this is also quite disturbing.
Seemed off. At 4:26 p.m., one of the snipers texted, "You see me go out with my rifle, so he knows you guys are up there." By 5:14 p.m., they grew suspicious.
He was looking up and down the building and just wandering around, and it just seemed out of place.
Greg Nichols says he snapped these photos of the shooter and shared them in a group text to local snipers on the scene.
I assumed that there would be somebody coming out to, speak with this individual.
We have to assume that when he put that information out to command, that command took that information and did something with it.
It's unclear if their concerns reached members of Trump's Secret Service detail. The Washington Post reports the agents complained they were not made aware of the warnings.
We were supposed to get a face-to-face briefing with the Secret Service snipers whenever they arrived, and that never happened. So I think that was probably a pivotal point where I started thinking things were wrong, because that never happened, and we had no communication with the Secret Service.
The Secret Service declined to respond directly, but tells ABC News it's committed to better understanding what happened and is offering complete cooperation with ongoing investigations. Members of the SWAT team believe they did everything they could to prevent the attack, but accept their share of responsibility. They add they're studying footage of the site because former President Trump plans to hold another rally in Western Pennsylvania soon.
So just totally outrageous, totally unacceptable. And again, the simple way to look at this is that why didn't they have radios? Why didn't they have radios on the same frequency as the Secret Service, so they could have communicated in real time? If they couldn't meet face to face, the SWAT team from the local police and the Secret Service sniper team, why didn't they at least speak by phone to the lead people? But the most egregious error that I see as a 27-year veteran NYPD police sergeant is the communication outrageous. You should, and if the Secret Service, if that is their procedure, not to give radios to the local police, then that has to be changed. That procedure has to 100% be changed, because it's unacceptable. Can you imagine? This was a hair away from an assassination, and again, 3 people. One person lost their life, Mr. Compatore, who was the local fire chief, and 2 other individuals were gravely injured. And does it have to get to that before changes are made? I would think that Europeans and people in other countries are looking at us like, my God, can you believe how horrible that security was? Corey Compatore lost his life, and David Dutch and James Copenhaver gravely injured. So none of these things should ever happen again. Again, this person, Thomas Crooks, was spotted on the roof much earlier, and there was time. Snipers could have taken him out if they would have gotten the order to do so, or the green light, as they call it, to do so. So, folks, as this investigation proceeds forward, there's lots and lots of questions, and I get back to my whole dissertation. Can we trust the FBI to investigate the Secret Service? And I would say many of you say no. I'm Bill Cannon from Police Off the Cuff Real Crime Stories. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll bring you more information as it comes out. Have a great day, everyone, and God bless.